Mama June. Anna's husband shares her last words, recalls moments. Mama June star Anna Cardwell said goodbye to the world recently after fighting cancer. She had been battling with the disease for the last 10 months. She had her whole family by her side at the time of her passing. Anna knew that she didn't have a lot of time left. She had been sharing emotional posts for a long time about her daughters. The reality TV star wanted her girls always to remember how much she loved them. She married her longtime boyfriend, Eldridge Toney, in March. They secretly exchanged vows soon after they found out about her condition. Toney was there with his wife when she took her last breath. Recently, he opened up about the painful moment when he lost her in front of his eyes. Mama June. Eldridge Toney shares about the moment when Anna took her last breath. Anna Cardwell has been making headlines this year for her cancer battle. Fans got to know about her medical condition during the latest season of Mama June. Fortunately, her entire family stood behind her during her last days. They loved her and took care of her while she was suffering from the terminal condition. Previously, Lauren shared that the entire family was going on a last trip together with Anna. Fans started guessing that Cardwell's condition was worsening. Sadly, June Shannon broke the news to the Mama June fans last weekend about her daughter's demise. Recently, her husband Toney shared the last painful moments with his wife. He expressed how everyone was crying and freaking out during Anna's death because they knew what was happening. Eldridge said, "I did my best to be calm for her. I rubbed my hands through her hair, held her hand, and told her it was going to be okay." He shared how he was there for Anna when she took her last breath. Further, Anna's husband revealed that he promised her to keep her memory alive for her daughters. Eldridge went ahead to explain that he said goodbye to his loving wife one day before her death. He stated her dying wish was for her girls to grow up knowing who their mother was. Toney promised Anna that he would always do right for Caitlin and Kylie. Further, he added, "I will spend my life doing right by Anna and the girls." Mama June. Where are Anna's daughters Caitlin and Kylie now? Anna Cardwell had become very emotional regarding her little girls, Caitlin and Kylie. Both are not biological sisters, but they have been together since birth. Caitlin's father's identity is still unknown, while Kylie was born when her mother was previously married to ex-Michael Cardwell. Mama June fans got quite concerned about the little girls as they recently lost their mother. However, they didn't want June Shannon to take care of them and ruin their childhood. Moreover, they also don't want the half-siblings to be separated after facing such a major loss. Some sources revealed that June Shannon is taking care of Caitlin right now. Further, Kylie has been living with her real dad, Michael. Now fans are wondering if Toney would adopt the girls legally after his promise to Anna. Keep coming back to TV season and spoilers to know if Toney will stick to his promise or not, and other Mama June news. In the quiet aftermath of Anna Chickadee Cardwell's tragic passing, her husband, Eldridge Toney, has remained mostly silent, his grief tucked behind closed doors, away from the reality TV spotlight that so often followed the Shannon family. But as the weeks turn into months since Anna lost her fierce battle with stage 4 adrenal cancer, Eldridge is now ready to share the deeply personal memories that live on in his heart. For the first time, he opens up about Anna's final days, her last words, and the sacred moments they shared as her life slipped away. This isn't a story about fame or controversy. It's a love story wrapped in sorrow, told by a husband who stood beside his wife as she fought with everything she had. Eldridge's voice is not one of spectacle, but remembrance. His recollections piece together a portrait of Anna that transcends the screen. A devoted mother, a loyal partner, and a woman who faced death with courage and clarity. A quiet strength in her final days. As Anna's illness progressed, her days grew quieter. The bustling energy that once filled the home she shared with Eldridge began to fade into stillness. There were fewer visitors, fewer distractions. Just the soft hum of machines, the scent of lavender oils she once loved, and the lingering presence of time slipping by. Eldridge remembers those last days with a bittersweet clarity. He recalls how Anna, despite the pain, insisted on sitting with her daughters each morning, brushing their hair and helping them with their cereal bowls. Even when her strength began to fade, she wanted to maintain the rhythm of motherhood for as long as she could. There were no dramatic declarations, no over-the-top goodbyes. That wasn't Anna's way. She was quiet, calm. Her mind stayed sharp. Eldridge would sit beside her for hours, holding her hand as they talked about everything, from the life they'd built together to the mundane things they would no longer get to do. One of her last requests was for Eldridge to promise he'd keep the girls grounded, away from the fame that had once consumed her family. She wanted them to grow up normal, to laugh more than they cried, and to remember her not for how she died, but for how fiercely she loved. Her last words, a whispered goodbye. In the final moments, Eldridge says there was no grand speech, just a series of whispers shared in the dim glow of the bedroom lamp. Anna's voice had grown too soft for anything more, her breath shallow but steady. One night, as he sat beside her, she squeezed his hand and whispered a single sentence that would stay with him forever. "You gave me peace when the world never did." Eldridge closed his eyes, trying to hold back tears, but she smiled. That quiet smile, the one he'd fallen in love with. Hours before she passed, Anna told him she wasn't afraid anymore. She said she had made peace with the end and found comfort in knowing her children would be loved. She asked for one final thing, that he read to the girls every night, even when they were too old to need it, because she believed stories were a way to keep her alive in their imaginations. When the time came, Eldridge was there, holding her hand, telling her she could rest, and when her final breath came, it was gentle. No alarms, no panic, just a soul slipping away into the silence, remembering the life, not the loss. Since that night, Eldridge has carried Anna's memory like a sacred thread woven into everything he does. He hasn't rushed to speak publicly, not out of shame or fear, but out of reverence. He wanted time to grieve privately, to mourn the woman he loved without a lens pointed at him. But now, as the weight of silence grows heavier, he's chosen to share parts of their story. Not for fame, not for applause, but so that others might see the human side of Anna beyond the headlines. He remembers their early days vividly, meeting at a local event far away from cameras, bonding over shared struggles and a mutual love for quiet evenings and home-cooked meals. Unlike many around her, Eldridge never cared about the fame. He saw Anna as a woman, not a TV personality. And that's what she loved about him. She was funny, he says. Sharp-tongued and sarcastic, always quick to make him laugh when he was taking life too seriously. She had dreams of opening a small bakery one day. Nothing fancy, just a cozy shop where she could bake and let her daughters help after school. And she was protective, fiercely so, especially when it came to her girls. She worried often about how they'd handle her illness, what they'd remember, and whether she'd had enough time to teach them the important things: kindness, courage, how to stand tall, even when the world tries to knock you down. Eldridge has saved dozens of voicemails and handwritten notes Anna left tucked in places around their home. One note, folded inside a kitchen cabinet, simply reads, "If you're reading this, I'm still with you. Make pancakes today." The girls left behind. Perhaps the most difficult part for Eldridge has been watching Anna's daughters try to make sense of their loss. The youngest doesn't fully understand what's happened. Some days she asks when Mama is coming home. Other days she clutches a photo frame and tells stories about that one time Mama burned the cookies. The older daughter, more aware, is processing through art and writing. Eldridge says she's recently started journaling, something Anna encouraged, and has even written a few letters to her mom, which she places on the windowsill in hopes that the wind might carry them up to heaven. Eldridge has worked to keep routines in place. He keeps Anna's traditions alive: pancake Sundays, bath time songs, nightly stories, even when the girls are too sad to smile. It's not easy, but he does it because she asked him to. He also says that grief sneaks up in the smallest of ways. An old movie Anna loved, her favorite perfume lingering in the closet, the chair she always curled up in, the empty side of the bed. But rather than bury those things, Eldridge keeps them close. He believes healing doesn't come from forgetting, but from remembering without falling apart. Public reaction and private love. As the Shannon family has been thrust into the spotlight following Anna's death, Eldridge has chosen to remain out of the fray. He's avoided public appearances and interviews until now, but with Mama June's public tributes and social media posts stirring both support and backlash, he felt the need to offer his side. not to stir drama, but to remind everyone that Anna wasn't a headline. She was his wife. He doesn't begrudge June's grief, though sources say there has been tension behind closed doors. Custody issues, disagreements over media.